Hello, boys and girls. It is Fido Day 20, Monday, April 20th. Today, we're going to multiply with mixed numbers, and we're going to do this for 2 days. That's why you can see it says day 1. You will need your chapter 10, lesson 11 notes. You will need a multiplication chart, which I had sent home with you. You will need your book, pages 746, 747. We're going to work on numbers 1 through 10 together, as well as an example. You've already found the video. And your job after we are done working on 1 through 10 is to go to page 749. You're going to complete it, and then you're going to take a picture and send it to me at amanda.steef@westernbeaver.org. I also provided another instructional video there of how to multiply with mixed numbers. It's Mr. J. That one's Mr. J. So the first thing I want us to do, if you want to pause the video to get your gold note packet and your multiplication chart and your math book, you can go ahead and do that. All right, let's take a look at these notes. The first step when we have a mixed number is we turn all of the mixed numbers into improper fractions, which we've learned to do. We learned to do that, and I'll remind you of that when we get to our notes. After they're all improper fractions, we multiply numerator times numerator. We multiply denominator times denominator, and we put our answer into its simplest form. Take a look at this first example that I provided here. This is our mixed number. If you remember, to change that mixed number to an improper fraction, we're going to do the 2 on the bottom times the 3, which is the whole number. So 2 times 3 is 6. We're going to add on our numerator. So 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. That becomes our numerator. And the 2 stays our denominator. So now basically it looks like it is a fraction times a fraction, which we did all last week. So we're going to do numerator times numerator. 7 times 1 is 7. Denominator times denominator. 2 times 2 is 4. We get 7/4 as our product. Step 4 says to write it in simplest form. So we are going to set up our division box since this is improper. We're going to set up a division box. Remember, the guy on top goes inside. The guy on the bottom bunk stays outside. Poor divisor. We divide. How many 4s go into 7? 1. That's our whole number. 1 times 4 is 4. We get 3 left over. We put our remainder over top of our divisor. So 1 whole and 3/4 left over. So 3 halves times a half is 1 whole and 3/4. Everybody good there? Great. I think I have one more example up here. This is where we have two mixed numbers here, boys and girls. We have 1 1/2 times 3 3/4. So my first step is to turn 1 1/2 into 3 halves. Remember, 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Put that over the same denominator of 2. And 3 3/4, 3 times 4 is 12 plus 3 is 15. That goes on top. 4 stays on the bottom. Now we've just got fraction times fraction. So numerator times numerator, 15 times 3 is 45. Denominator times denominator, 2 times 4 is 8. This is definitely improper. 45 is bigger and it's on the top. We put that 45 in the division box. We put the 8 outside. We divide. How many 8s go into 4? We can't do that, right? How many 8s go into 45? That's 5. 5 is our whole number, with 5 left over. The leftovers go on top. The divisor, which is 8, goes on the bottom. 5 and 5/8. So 1 1/2 times 3 3/4 equals 5 and 5/8. We're going to go into our books now. I am looking at page 746. Oh, surprise, surprise. This example is the exact same one that we went over, but we're going to do it together now. So we're going to change 1.5 to a mixed number. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. That's my numerator of my improper fraction. We're going to leave the denominator 2. So you can see right there, 1.5 is 3/2. Now we're going to change 3 3/4. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Leave the 4 on the bottom. Everybody okay so far? 3 times 15 on top is 45. 2 times 4 on the bottom is 8. And I already told you 8 went into 45 5 times, 5 left over out of 8. If you wanted to see that again as a division problem, there it is. How many 8s go into 45? 5. 5 times 8 is 40. 45, take away 40 is 5. The remainder goes on top. The 8 stays on the bottom. And then we're just going to record our answer right here, 5 and 5/8. So multiplying with mixed numbers, it tells you right up here to multiply with mixed numbers, write the mixed number as an improper fraction, then multiply just like you did with fractions. Let's look at another one. Down here on the bottom, I'm still on page 746. This is number 1. Remember, we're going to do numbers 1 through 10 together. They pretty much did all of the work for you here. They show you right here that 4 1/5 is the same as 21/5 times 1/2. 21 times 1 is 21. 5 times 2 is 10. They want us to rewrite it into a mixed number, the answer. So over here, I'm going to put 21 in, 10 stays out. How many 10s go into 21? 2. 2 times 10 is 20. 1 left over. Draw my fraction bar. The leftovers go on top. The divisor goes on the bottom. Correct answer, 2 1/10. 1/10 is already in simplest form because 1 is the numerator. So it's 2 1/10. All right, now it's our turn to do all of it together. Here we go. This is going to be an improper fraction. That's why I drew a fraction bar. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 4 is my numerator. I keep the denominator 3. 2/3 is already a fraction, so I'm just going to recopy it right there. On top, 4 times 2 is 8. On the bottom, 3 times 3 is 9. This is perfectly fine, exactly how it is, because this fraction is not improper. 8/9 is already in simplest form. Let's go to number 3. 2/5 we can just leave, 2/5. Let's change 2 3/4. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. 11 is my numerator. 4 stays my denominator. Let's multiply this out. 2 times 11 on top is 22. 5 times 4 on the bottom is 20. This is improper. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to put 22 in my division box. I'm going to put 20 out of my division box. How many 20s go into 2? Can't do it. How many 20s go into 22? 1. 1 times 20 is 20. 2 left over. 2 leftovers go on top. The divisor 20 goes on the bottom. 1 2/20. Well, 2/20 is not in simplest form. I can divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. So I have 1, the 1 whole. Then 2 divided by 2 on top is 1. 20 divided by 2 on the bottom is 10. So the correct answer here is 1 1/10. Let's do one more. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 3 is 18 over 5, times 1 over 4. 18 times 1 is 18, 5 times 4 is 20. Divide top and bottom by the same number. I can divide those both by 2. I don't need to do the division like I did over here because this is not improper. 18 is smaller than 20. So I don't need to do any division. I'm just going to put it in the simplest form. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 9/10 is in simplest form. Remember, 9 is 1 away from 10. So we know it's in simplest form. What I want you guys to do right now before you watch my second video of the day is I would like you to try numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Try them on your own, take your time, and then watch the second video of today of Fido Day 20. Watch Fido Day 20 Part 2, and I will finish going over 6 through 10 on there, and you can check yourself.